Caucus on Academic Freedom, or KICA. I present of evidence of an escalating and systematic crisis in the state of academic freedom in Indonesia. This presentation reflects the finding of our research over the past 8 months. This is yeah. Me and also Syamrotus Ayu and Pak Irlambang in the back. We stick together to research regarding the situation of academic freedom in Indonesia, how to finding our research over past 8 months, conducted alongside key actors involved in defending academic freedom in Indonesia. The title of my presentation is Academic Freedom in Indonesia, Digital Repression, Military Return, and Criminalization of Activists. Provides a frameworks regarding the situation of academic freedom in Indonesia, the force undermining Indonesia democratic aspiration. We see that rapid securitization and sinking of academic space driven by a powerful triple threat. For the first in Indonesia, how to pervasive digital control, and the second, the alarming the return of military influence in civilized civilian life, and the legal system being used to silent criticize or as a autocratic legalism. Not just about policy issue, KICA document see that in every single years, we look at the currently situation of academic freedom in Indonesia. They are deeply rooted in political and challenging the university roles as an independent center for public critique. This is the pattern of violation of academic freedom in Indonesia, like as cyber attacks for academia, campus subjugation through research institution and state authority, pressure of the student press, criminalization to the pretext of the formation and counterclaim or SLAP, silencing solidarity with national sensitive issues such as national strategic project, free meal program, etc., escalation of arrest or detention in action related to the controversial laws such as Dark Indonesian Action Mass, and respond to rapid revision in the TNI or Indonesian military law, also in the last August mass demonstration, and then suspension of lecture and student without a clear basis. The atmosphere of coercion is reinforced by the strategic weapons of all politician stigma. When an academic engages in critical discourse on sensitive issue, like as I previously says, like as national strategic project or free meal program, the response of the government labeling for the academician or civil society as an anti-states or foreign nation leki, or we call in Indonesia is antek asing. Discussion of Papua advocacy or any other marginalized groups is immediate conflict with the separatism. Similarly, engaging with certain historical periods can research the stigma of communism. To constitute intellectual warfare, where scholarly engage in the disbandment of critical discourse, arbitrary books, banning and the chilling knowledge, the merely facilitating interfaith dialogue or using critical teaching methods can invite institution of state interventions. The threat targets students, lecturers who address a public interest issue, those who expose corruption, deformation, or minority rights face lawsuit, job loss, and criminal charges. University leaders often enable this through excessive bureaucracy or opaque research screening. Dissolving research terms is used to punish dissent. Systematic pressures, physical threat, and no legal protection destroy the campus environment in Indonesia. Commercialization, called McDonaldization education, treating academic freedom more destructive. It's prioritizing market demands and educational liberalization over the crucial non-profit roles of critical and social inquiry. The most immediate and severe threat is criminalization of academic activists in Indonesia. Like as Achan Pen says, Del Pedro Marhen actually will be attend in this conference. But he was detained with several human rights activists such as Sahdan, Muzaffar, Paul, and thousands of protests, including 295 of children or students in the high school. Mostly were detained. Altogether, 959 people face charges under the criminal code and the vague of ITA law since the mass action in the last August 2025 in Indonesia. This is also alarming the return of military influence in civilian government. This echoes of Suharto New Order. However, in Indonesia, currently wants to give national heroes titles for Suharto. Image of mass student and civil protests reflect fears about policies that let military personnel return to civil roles, such policy and silencing, debate, and limit political education. Kika, in every single moment, will be strongly condemn the involvement of military to influence of the campus, like as the mass action of military bill, and every single action will be Kika has also with the civil society. Digital repression is rising as knowledge and dissent move online. State surveillance stranger, the police, the military, and the intelligence agency, we call BIN, all have overlapping, unchecked powers. This lack of accountability increases the risk of technology abuse. Legal expert Asfinawati as a board of Kika described the problems. There's a lack of accountability, especially when attacks happen after criticism of government policies. This condition normalized digital persecution, including hacking, doxing, and monitoring. Academic that become marked by constant self-censorship and research carries the real risk of retribution. And I think all the academicians criticize at the risk actually now in Indonesia. The repression is normalized by the police. It's reinforced by strict bureaucracy. Consider the Indonesian National Police Regulation, or we call Perpol number 3 of 2025, which require foreign researcher to get police clearance to conduct research in Indonesia. We know that several colleges like us, Eric Maynard, etc., having banning to research in Indonesia. This rule, while called administrative, sent a chilling message. It framed academic research as a security issue, is limit collaboration and narrow the space for producing transformative knowledge. It's not just about the foreign scholars, but also foreign journalists has not allowed to go to Indonesia if you report the government has distract environment, has making any other distraction with the legalize of government policies. Systemic problems make academic freedom vulnerable in Indonesia. First, patron-client and relationship among university leaders reward loyalty and punish dissent. This discourages independent thought and turn leadership into the political maneuvering. We have several cases will be involving the fake professorship at any other the problems of academic integrity. It's gonna be happen in Indonesia. And the funniest moment, this is legalized and defended by the university leaders. It's not just about the treatment of academic freedom, but also having a dangerous effect to the legitimate of university as a produce of integrity of knowledge. And the second, feudal academic structure, creative favoritism. Titles and recognition go to those close to power, not those with the merit. The pattern define autocratic legalism, the use of law and regulation to suppress democracy and dissent. The ITA law, or information transactional economic law, and the other law, such as national science and technology law, the military law, and the criminal code or criminal procedure law, as a weaponized by the government to sentencing or detain of the scholars. These laws show a trend of democratic decline, facing legal threat, academic often self-censorship. Despite the urgency, Indonesian story is also one of the resilience. The fight for academic freedom continues through a creative, determined civil society. This is the how to challenging the scholars of in Indonesia who facing of academic freedom situations. So, what is the Indonesian best practice to defending of academic freedom in Indonesia? For the first, the establishment of strong legal aid and solidarity network dedicated to defending criminalized academic and student. We didn't having an we call expectation for the government to give the academic freedom, but we stick together to protection of academic freedom itself. The formation of international advocacy platforms such as CCAF, Involve, and also any civil society organizations to the systematically document and publishes instance of academic freedom violation. I think this is one of many measures to protection of academic freedom in Indonesia. Advocate for strong internal university policies must challenging bureaucratic repression and ensure protection for research, teaching, and expression for the academia, both for the student, for the lecturers, and also for the researcher in Indonesia. In conclusion, academic freedom is not just a sectoral issue, it is the immune system of democracy. Allowing university to be silenced weakens society ability to analyze and solve its challenge. Indonesia faced immense challenge, digital repression, militarism, and weaponized law. Yet, Indonesian academic remains determined. Our collective responsibility is to stand together, demand systemic reform, strengthen legal protection, and ensure safe space to and keep free inquiry alive. Thank you.
Thank you, Mas Satria. I can't help but draw the similarities of the story that we hear from Indonesia and Thailand. There are so many common themes that we are seeing,